Hello and welcome to balaclava tutorial, where I will show you how to make these cute animal helmet balaclavas. It can be easily transformed from bear to frog. So let's start making it. For the project, we are going to need scissors, darning needle, measuring tape, 2 skeins of Alize Puffy Fine yarn, your helmet, and a lighter. As a first step for the project, we're gonna start by measuring our helmet circumference to know what size of balaclava we should make. Put the measuring tape around the helmet just like I am showing to you. It's important to put the measuring tape on the goggle secure clip, just because it may add some extra length. The usual circumference for adult helmet is 76 to 78 centimeters, or 29.9 to 30.7 inches. We are going to start working on the balaclava foundation. Just find the yarn end and place it straight on the table. Cut 1 or 2 loops to make longer yarn end for securing it later, and it will be as a mark for the beginning of the rounds. Now we need to measure again to find the perfect length for our balaclava. The helmet circumference is 76 centimeters, so I am measuring the diameter for the balaclava to be 39 centimeters in total. Always add extra centimeter. Now connect the 2 loops together just like this, one on another. Place the connection in front of you, and we will start making the first round. Make sure that the foundation isn't very tangled. We want to have a very clean base. Place working yarn in your left hand and the base on your right. We're gonna push the loops with left hand through the foundation loops from the back. We want to make it look as a knit texture. And again, take the working loop with the left hand and push it through the foundation loops. We will be working like this for all the project. It is almost the end of the first round. Just finish the last loops, and the second round starts from the yarn tail we left at the beginning. Again, take the working loop with the left hand and push it through the foundation loop. Use the same movements for all the rounds for the project. This is how the project looks after a couple of rounds. Continue making it for 14 rounds in total, and I will meet you in a second to show you how to make the space for goggles. Here we have half of our project done, did 14 rounds at this point. We'll start making space for the goggles, so I like to make sure that the beginning, the long yarn tail, would be at the back. It will be easier to track the decreases later. Now I will start working on around 15, up to this side. For the goggle space, we need to leave 17 loops in total. Same count of loops at the bottom, and same count on the top where the new yarn is. Here I connect 18th loops from top and bottom, not to lose count. We're gonna start connecting the bottom loops together with each other, just like this. Place one loop on top of another and work to the left side. We will have a very nice and clean braid around the eyes. Make sure you have the right number of loops every time. From here, we will continue working until we reach the other side of the goggle space. At this point, again, make sure the yarn is not twisted or tangled, and work the loops on top of it like normal. After finishing placing loops on top of the new row, we have the space for goggles done. And continue making a total of 5 rounds above the space. Here I will quickly show how I am joining the second yarn skein. Find the end and cut a few loops to get the tail. Join the loop next to where you finished and make a knot with both of the yarn tails to secure. Here I give you a pattern for decreasing, and these rounds will be the last to finish our balaclava. We begin doing it on the 6th round above the goggle space. Later on the video I will show you only a few rounds, not all of them, so follow this picture as a reference. Round 6, we're gonna start with the decrease. So we're gonna take 2 loops, place it together, and now push only 1 loop through both of these loops. And we have our first decrease. Now we're gonna make 2 normal stitches, 1 loop in each, and decrease again. Put 2 loops together and push only 1 loop through them. Continue doing this for the rest of the round. 2 normal loops and 1 decrease. 2 normal loops and 1 decrease. Jump to round 9. You can see how the head part is going narrower after making all these decreases. So for this round, we're gonna make 1 decrease, 1 normal stitch, and 1 decrease again. From here, we are only 2 rounds away to finishing our balaclava. On round number 10, we are doing no decreases, so just 1 loop in each of the stitches. For the last round, we'll make decreases for every stitch, up until we have left with about 10 loops. If you see something like this, just stop here. For finishing the balaclava, cut the yarn longer and open some of the loops. Heat the yarn end with the lighter, just a little, to melt it. This makes it easier to thread the needle. Start joining loops from front to back, one by one. Pull the yarn quite tight to close the hole. And then put the needle in the middle and secure it from the inside. This is a pattern for the ears. The ear consists of foundation chain, 7 rows, and the last step of connecting the loops on the outside for a nice edge. We're gonna start by making foundation chain of 7 loops. On the first row, pull 1 more loop through the first stitch and continue with the 1 loop in each stitch. Place 2 loops in the last stitch, and we should have 9 loops in total. For the second row, skip the first loop, and in the second one, put 2 loops. Continue with 1 loop in each stitch. On the 7th stitch, place 2 loops and leave the last one undone. On the beginning of the next row, skip the first stitch and place 1 loop in each of the stitches. Again, leave the last stitch undone. On the 4th row, skip the first stitch and place 2 loops on the second one. Make 4 stitches with 1 loop in each, and in the last, place 2 loops. Row 5, skip the first stitch and place 1 loop in each of the next 6 stitches. Row 6, skip the first stitch and make 4 stitches with 1 loop in each. For the last row, skip the first stitch and place a loop in the next 2 stitches. And you're almost done with the ear. In the very last step, connect the outside loops to close the edge. One ear is done. Repeat the same process to make another one. And don't forget to weave in the ends. The best way to connect the ears is to sew. Place them on top of the balaclava. One ear is roughly 3 rows apart from the middle point. Prepare some yarn for sewing by cutting out the loops. After sewing, your balaclava should look something like this. If you have some extra white and black yarn, you can make frog eyes. It is very easy but effective and looks extremely adorable. You just need 2 parts of white and 2 parts of black. For the white part, you need to make a chain of 10 loops connected together. Connect the chain into a circle just by weaving in the yarn ends in between the loops. For the black part, you need to connect 4 loops into chains and just glue them together, or again weave the loops to make it circle. And you can glue all the parts together with some textile glue, or just use some same colored thread to sew them together. And here you made your cute animal balaclava. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and see you in other tutorials.